Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's morning pick a card. And I am flying by the seat of my spirit this morning. And I was wondering what the theme would be. As you guys know, when you email me at this email address, I can use this time to create a reading based on the question or the concern that you have. That's our usual morning routine. And I'm just getting everything ready. I'm bringing in turquoise today because it's just such a healing stone. All right. And let me get my Palo Santo. And I want to light up an offering for today. I've got my window open here today because it's so beautiful. Good morning. I'm so glad to see you. I'm just lighting my Palo Santo here. It's a little teeny bit breezy because I have my window open. And today I am moved by transitions. And when someone leaves our life, sometimes, well, most times, we're never really ready for it. Even if the person or the animal has been ill, when they do leave our lifetimes, it can be painful, huh? And so I'm just using this time today because I do believe in that the angels are like special messengers that go back and forth between worlds and to help us and comfort us when we've lost somebody. So I'm just going to do a quick little read here today. And so for those of you who have someone in heaven or perhaps a pet has recently passed away, this reading is for you. I think about my mentor, who I don't even know that she knows she's my mentor, and that's White Feather Tarot. You must go check her out. She's so great. Her name is Reem. And Reem just had her pet, her beloved pet, pass away. And so it made me think about how the transitions that happen like that are not easy, whether it's a pet or a person. So today I'm just going to be so bold and ask my cards to show us three different messages for people who have had a loss, a loved one that's no longer here in this dimension. You guys know I'm a great fan of Abraham Hicks, and I do enjoy their material so much. They've been on the air for over 20 years, haven't they? And Jerry was a part of that for a long time. And now Esther goes on and carries on the mission, and she talks about how the energy of Jerry is accessible to her on the other side. Another one of my heroes is Pam Grout. Pam Grout wrote a book called E Squared, and you've heard part of my story, and she also has gone through a very difficult loss. Her daughter passed away at only 25. She had a brain aneurysm. And Pam Grout still goes forward believing in the same concepts I do, which is that there is a bigger plan here than we know. And we have a non physical part of ourselves that will continue beyond our human experience, which is this little figure. And so, with that in mind, I'm going to draw three cards for us. We're going to have three different readings for you if you're someone that really misses your person and wish that they could speak to you today. Okay? So I'm using my angel decks. This is what is this? The wisdom angels, because I figure we always need wisdom, right? So let's just draw our cards. This is card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. What is it that our loved ones in heaven want us to know? What do the angels want us to know about transitioning? Our first one, justice. Be impartial and objective. Stand up for what you believe. Try to see all sides of a situation. You will win if your position is one of integrity. So pile number 1, somebody's reaching across to give you some guidance about something that's coming in your life right now. You might have a legal suit, or you might be in a divorce or something that's really delicate. So your loved one is coming through to give you a message personally about that. Pile number 2, we have the Knight of Swords. Decisive, focused, driven, defensive, events that move with great speed. Choose intellectual responses to challenges rather than emotional. Sudden or unexpected changes. Review your options carefully. So, pile two, it looks to me like you're facing a decision, aren't you? And that people are pressuring you. And you would love to have this energy, this past energy, give you some advice. So if that sounds like you, pile two, that's you. Now, by the way, I will be putting the timestamps in here. Also, in the description box are the tools that you'll hear me recommend. You can check those out right away if you want. And pile three, we have news worth celebrating, joyful announcements like engagements, weddings, pregnancy, or graduation, a time of gratitude, close communities, or chosen families. So, what I'm seeing here, pile three, is that you may have lost a loved one recently, and the reality is that you're going through planning weddings, planning birthdays, and there's like, what is that? Like almost a layer of grief that is in between you and celebrating. So that if you can resonate, that would be your pile. So pile one, pile two, or pile three. Make your choice, and then we'll move right into the reading. Pile one. Let's take a breath together. And pull your person. And I do want to say, those of you who have lost pets this year in 2024, that can be almost as difficult a passing as a person. I worked at the pet cemetery in San Diego for real, and I ran grief groups, plus I'm a hospice volunteer. And all of those things, of course, I am a Scorpio, but all of those things have helped me to stand in the gap and be with people who are suffering loss. It's just something that comes easy to me. But in this situation, though, I feel like pile one, something with this current situation that you're facing is draining to you. You feel a feeling of being over your head, and you wish so much that this person or this animal was here with you because you always felt better about making a decision. And so this person, I'm sensing over on the other side, is really going to bat for you, is wanting for you to feel more confident in your own skills right now, pile one. And that you think that you're in a weakened state because you don't have this energy, this person, this animal in your life, but that is not true because there is no I'm going to say something that could be controversial depending on where your belief systems lie, but I do believe that death is an illusion and that the spiritual reality of the person is still quite alive over there, wherever over there is. So, this non physical part of me, that's the part that is connected to the divine, whether my body is alive or not. So, pile number one, let's draw three cards for you on your particular situation. What is it that your angel on the other side wants you to know about your personal confidence right now? Let me just rearrange things a little bit so I can put the cards here. Okay. Number one, your person on the other side sees how diligent you are. There and you know what, pile one, everybody sees how diligent you are except you. So that you do have a tendency to underplay your skills. And your person on the other side is saying, please stop doing that. You can see the desk is filled with things, right? But her focus is on that flame. Have you ever tried a flame meditation? It's pretty fun. You hold a candle before your eyes and look at the flame. Then you close your eyes and see how clearly you can remember the flame in your mind's eye. Meditation will be very helpful for you so you can remind yourself how skilled you are. Maybe your person always praised you and told you how skilled you are, but they want you to start picking up that job and doing it for yourself. Your person sees you agonize. This seems unfair, and your person feels for you. On the other side, of course, they realize that most of our worries are completely a waste of time because everything tends to work out for the best anyway, especially for a person who has the intention to live an integrity filled life. So your person sees you agonizing, but see this little figure over there? That's what your person wants for you: freedom. Freedom from these worries. Now, in the resource box or the description box, you'll see something I call the worry cure. Try it. Do yourself a favor. It will really help you relieve your mind of some of the details. And your last card here, I had a feeling it would be a delicious card like this, pile one. There is a huge doorway of opportunity here for you. As you learn to get to the core of what you're wanting, you trust that your person is interceding and praying for you and connecting with you on the other side. Let yourself believe that death is just a window people walk through, because the truth is, your loved one walked into a brand new world when they left. They couldn't take any suitcases or any backpacks or they didn't even wear shoes on the way out. But the fact is, just as real as they walked into a new world of life, this is true for you. And from the other side, they are saying to you, you know what, my friend? I worried too much. As soon as I crossed over, I realized that not one bit of worry accomplished anything. So, pile one, your person sees how important it is for you to make the right decisions, but they also see that you're very hard on yourself, and they are hoping and wishing for you that you'll be able to ease up a little bit and allow life to flow. Now, for you, pile one, I do have my beautiful angels and oracle of the angels deck. I've owned this deck for years, and I find it very comforting, and so I was drawn to it this morning. I want to just draw you an oracle card, and then we'll move on to pile two. Please do check out those resource boxes. In the worry cure, you can actually create a letter or a message to your person on the other side. It's a really cool tool to use your own imagination and the energy that is here for you to comfort yourself, okay? Thank you for the thumbs up. I so appreciate it. If you are enjoying this reading, I hope that you'll subscribe so you'll get a notification whenever I go live. So let's pull you an oracle, my dear pile one. I wish we were together. I wish I could give you a hug. It's no fun the loss part of life is no fun. It pretty much sucks, but there's nothing we can do to avoid it. And here's your beautiful card: power. You do have more power than you think you do. Power. I say that. Pile one. Allow yourself the time to let this unfold and stick with what you know is true. Okay? All right. It's a tender message today because I understand loss, believe me. And I almost lost my dog about a month ago. She got very ill unexpectedly, and I thought I would lose her. And she's here still, and grateful for that. But that's why when I think of my friend Reem and how when you lose a pet even, it can so jar your life. And sometimes pets come through in readings, no kidding. Pile number two, what is your message from the other side? So what we have here is that I feel that you may be in a place where you're being pushed to make a decision, and you don't like that. Whoever the person or the situation is here, that they are in a bigger hurry than you want to be. Okay, now these two cards just flipped themselves out, so I'm going to choose them. I do enjoy when cards introduce themselves to the reading, when they toss themselves out on the table. It's fun for me because that way the beautiful part of collective readings like that, totally fluky. What are you doing on this reading? What did you get drawn in by? Was it just the thumbnail? Was it just because someone has recently passed? Pay attention to these strange coincidences that continue to happen because they are meaningful. So let me draw our third card before I do this reading now, the first thing I notice is look at how the colors are almost identical between these two. So that's the sign for me to pay attention. And as I am an intuitive reader, I do use the traditional meanings of the tarot, but I do love the pictures, the depictions. It reminds me of stained glass windows in church where be, you would always have something to look at if the pastor got boring up there, or if you got distracted, you could look sideways and there would be an art piece of art teaching you something about spirit. So, what is this teaching? There's a lot of confusion right now for you, pile two. I have a feeling that whoever departed, whoever it is that you wish you could ask their advice, that they may have been actually involved in your business or like a partner to you, because I'm sensing this being untethered, being like adrift, where there's no rudder in your ship and you feel very out of place. Perhaps this person was your, like a mensch, you know that word, where you everything they said, you knew they were trustworthy. And right now you don't have that. So why do I say that? Everywhere you look, you feel like something could be happening. People could be talking about you. People could be stealing from you. There's no security, that nobody has your back. This is that sensation of sneaking around. Not that you are sneaking around, but you feel like people are sneaking around and you're feeling insecure. You also you're carrying these burdens. And again, I keep getting that sensation that this was some sort of life partner or business partner, that you guys were so together that now that you're apart, you feel completely out of sorts. However, this card, the Ten of Wands, is about carrying burdens. So your person is telling you it's enough. You're carrying too much for yourself. I really like this card because you can see the long path that she's been on, but something is changing her direction. See how the wind is blowing her this way, and the yak that is carrying her things. She's at least making progress and she's only carrying a little bit. So your person on the other side is proud of you, pile two, because you're really fighting this battle and you're trying to move forward. And you know that it should be easier. However, this moon card is the card of confusion. So I feel like you're right in the midst here. And this pressure you're feeling, whatever this energy is, it could be somebody from your family of origin that's just picking at you that you should be doing this or you should be doing that. However, you're just not feeling it. So what I'm seeing for you, pile two, is it's really time to lick your wounds, to really take time to be as sad as you need to be, and to not make excuses anymore for why you can't move forward. Now, pile two, when I worked at the pet cemetery, which was a life-changing job. Sometimes people would come in and they were so stuck because of the loss. And I would say to them, there are people, counselors, social workers, who are excellent at grief counseling. And you don't need to go forever. You don't maybe even need to go for 2 or 3 sessions, but just to have somebody objective ask you some questions so you can move on more easily. There's a lot of online counseling services right now where you can find someone to talk to you over Zoom or a phone call. But if your loved ones are seeing you as stuck, if you feel like you cannot figure out how to unburden, a tarot reading is not enough. You do need to have professional help, okay? So do take those steps. If confusion is like a heavy blanket and you can't wiggle out from it. If you feel like do it yourself is where you want to be and that you don't prefer counseling, do go to a couple of places. Number one, in the description box, the Worry Cure is a helpful tool. Online, I do always recommend Brad Yates for tapping, because what you'll find is when you try energy tapping, you will feel like you're doing a little something extra. It's like putting the cherry on top of the sundae. It's something that will address the tension in your body. If you want to know more about tapping, I'm happy to share what I know, and I do tapping with my clients. This is my email address right here. So, pile two, let me grab my oracle deck. I feel like you are so in the middle of your grieving process, pile two. And even though it's inconvenient for this pressure to be happening, because part of you wants to say to your person, leave me alone, I'm going through a lot. But what it does is it's been kind of forcing the issue. It's making you look into the mirror and figure out, what do you want next? How long will you wear black? Okay, so let's draw our card. And I say all these things with only love in my heart. I have been through tons and tons of loss. Oh, one thing I forgot. Thank you, universe, for reminding me. Grief groups, hospice. If you have a hospice in your town, they usually have grief groups available. Many of the animal shelters, the humane societies, have pet grief groups available, and sometimes that's all you need. Just to sit in a room where people are also transitioning their lives after loss. Strongly recommend. All right, let's take a look at what the angels have for you, my dear pile two. Initiation. In a way, when someone passes that's very dear to you, it is like an initiation. They are being initiated to their next level. In my hospice work, I feel this strong inclination that it's like midwifing. It's when I'm with someone who's passing over, I have an overwhelming sense that I am midwifing that soul to their next level, which to hear, this looks like that, doesn't it? That soul is walking to the light and that they're entering into a new arena. I've never had anybody pass on come back and talk to me personally, like call me on the phone. I don't know what's over there for sure. So this is really a test of faith. And some people say, well, what if you died and you got to the other side and there was nothing there? And then I love that question, because I say, well, it wouldn't matter, would it? And it also wouldn't change my belief system, because believing that I do have a higher self. Oh my goodness. That's Murphy. The fact that I do believe that I have a higher self, and that higher self is guiding me every day of my life, and that when I do choose to pass away or when I go, I'm closing my window. Sorry. Now I'm going to close my door. Of course, my neighbor is moving. Hold on. You guys. Closing off things so that I don't have to listen to the doggies bark, and neither do you. Oh, you guys are so patient with me. Thank you, and thank you. All right, I'm back. So, and the initiation is for you too, you persons who are left behind, because you have to go on without them. Now, see those beautiful lights up the stairs? Those are lighting your path. The very first step is that root chakra. So as you go through this year, you're going one time around the sun without your person, and it's going to be hard. But you will climb these steps with all of the humans that cross your path, and you will be finding your way through. Your person loves you. They still love you, and they are surrounding you with the energy of that love, and you will find your way forward. Grief groups are fantastic. Sometimes you feel like, well, only a loser would go to a grief group. No, 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 that's not true. Everyone, all of us humans, every human on the planet goes through a loss, at least one. And if you're over 50, like I am, a lot, but if you are, then you've experienced a lot more loss than when you were 10. And so each loss we go through gives us this challenge of transitioning to a whole new way of being. So I do apologize for Murphy barking in the background. So thank you for being patient with me. And now we arrive at pile three. So pile three, our readings today are all about being able to believe and trust that our loved one in heaven is looking after us, loves us, and wants us to have companionship, wants us to enjoy life even though they're not here. So if the way you believe, if the faith that you practice doesn't agree with this sort of reading, then you definitely would want to go to another one, because I personally believe with all of my heart that that humans are blended beings, and that we have a non-physical part, our soul, our spirit, the mystery of life that's part of us. It's part of what we were given as we came to earth so that we could manage. And then we have this little part. This is our personality. This is the part that can get annoyed and snarky or whiny, complaining, why doesn't life work better? That's our personality, because our human nature cannot see the whole truth. So I believe that when I'm calm, alert, and aware that I have an inner being that's smarter than me, I feel better. I feel guided. Even doing this reading this morning, I wasn't sure what my theme was, but as I looked at my material and I thought about it, I just felt an impression to do messages from the other side. Some of you who are listening, you may be randomly scrolling. You may have never had a tarot reading, but here you are with the open heart to receive the message from the other side. So I believe that this higher being, or my highest power, the inner source, does not die ever. That's my belief system. My personality will pass away. My body will be finished at some point, but that my spirit goes on. And I also believe that if the person is very impaired at the end of their life, where their body is breaking down, if they're comatose, or they're just so different than how we knew them in life, I believe that the spirit is never impaired, that the spirit does not have Alzheimer's, the spirit does not ever have any kind of mental illness. I saw that with my own mom. I was actually holding her hand when she passed away. And her humanness was very afflicted. And there was mental illness in her personality, in her humanness. And I felt so separate from her because I didn't understand that. There were so many hurt feelings. And now that she is in peace, I don't have meetings with her. I'm not a medium and meet with the people that have crossed over to the other side. But I have compassion for her, though, because this small self really, really ran rampant in her life and caused her all kinds of difficulties. And I do choose to believe that she's at complete peace right now. So this card, I feel, pile 3, you're going through that first year. You have to plan. I think there may be a wedding this summer for you, something like that, perhaps a reunion. And you're feeling when this loved one is not there, it's just not going to be the same. Now, of course, I have my darling dog scratching at the door, wanting to come in. So hold on. Okay, can you promise not to bark? You have to be quiet. Okay, you can come in. No barking. Don't you love our animals? Okay, pile 3. What is it that your loved one wants you to know? I just feel this so clearly. Murphy, no barking. I know. I feel like your person is in the, I've never thought about this before. Like human emotions, where are they? Are they in our spirit or are they in our personality? I do feel that there are like awarenesses of human emotions, but I don't believe there's any suffering on the other side. But I feel like your person is feeling sadness. So I guess what I could say is they're recollecting what it felt like to be sad. I think that is a better description because they want you to enjoy your life. They don't want you to suffer. There's a wonderful quote that says, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. What does that mean? It means you want to slap the face of the person that says it to you because it sucks to be in pain. And I get that. But when you can change your reactions, you will find yourself having more peace with big changes. So the call is always to try to change our reactions. That's how we are deliberate creators. because we can look at our reactions and begin to adjust them. But your person does not want you skipping the wedding. Your person does not want you crying beyond what's reasonable. All right. Now, I want to tell you something right here. I heard about this and put my cards down for a second. If there's a way, like there's a thing called flooding, and that's when you start to cry and cry and cry, and you can't stop. And a lot of people who are shy about their emotions, this is part of what makes grieving hard. But if you ever find yourself crying and you cannot stop, what you do is you take your two hands, you put one hand on the back of your head. Go ahead and just do this with me right now. Just try it. Put your thumb goes right down your neck, and the back, and your hand is cradling the back of your head. Okay, and then you put your other hand on your forehead. And so right now you've got your head in a hug. Do you know it's proven that this calms a hysterically crying person, which makes me instantly want to try it on a baby. But it does help. It's a strange, comforting posture when you're feeling really out of control and you can't control your crying. Okay? Anyway, I hope somebody needed that. I never know. See, trusting this guidance, trusting my gut when I do these readings is really part of my challenge and my joy. So let's pull our 3 cards here for you, pile 3. I know you don't feel like celebrating. Look at this. Look at this, guys. I just love this. This person that passed was full of spit, right? Full of spit and vinegar. They got what they wanted. They had a big presence, a big personality. And I love how it falls right here under my personal reminder that life is bigger than being human. This is my personal belief that life is bigger than being human. I believe we have a spirit in us that's driving us to success if we'll only just pay attention. So your person is there. Remember that, oh, that was the last pile 2. I had this fantastic card, so I'm going to bring it over here for you. But this idea that your person went on to something fabulous, and they are fabulous right now, and they want you to be fabulous, and they don't want you to waste 1 minute of your life being too sad. What's too sad? When you're not functioning, when you're not yourself, you're not doing the things in life that you used to do. It's like kind of you know how they used to do those ice chest challenges where they poured the ice on the people? That's what your person wishes they could do, to wake you up to how much life is happening right here, right now. And she, or I'm using, gender doesn't matter, but the Queen of Wands is a dynamo. Okay, so the Queen of Wands is calling you into dynamism, into life. See how she has that spark of life, and she's cheering for you. She's lifting her wand, okay? So let's see what else we have. You're getting nailed, pile 3. Look at that. Same energy, right? And the 4 is a stability sign. It's a showing that there is fire. There's fire inside of you, pile 3, that has been almost put out, like the candle waving in the wind. Your person is breathing life into you. Look at how these colors go together. The purple is the divine. And all of this red and orange means that you have so much support. Your friends here on this side have been praying and praying. They want to help you, but they don't know how. And just the fact that you're listening to my voice, it's like, what do you call it? A posse, like they send out the posse to surround you with love and grace so that you can see what you need. And it looks to me like you might need a little bit of support. A grief group may be just what the doctor ordered. And you're like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I prefer being at home. I'd rather go to an online grief meeting. Okay, prove it. Prove it. Go to an online grief meeting, because your person is pulling for you. And this is the energy, all of these cards, the fact that you're missing this in your life right now, it makes your person remember what it's like to be sad. With everything in my being, honestly, as I'm standing here right now, I completely believe that a spirit does not have sadness. The spirit part of us knows sadness, but it doesn't experience sadness. So when they cross over, they remember back, oh gosh, I remember I used to be moping around about that, or oh, I never understood this. Because once they get on the other side and they're free of the human body, they are just knowing A, life is better than they thought, and B, what if they could have keyed into this earlier when they were in their human form? Okay, and this is our last card. Oh, these readings are so great. I mean, the cards are. Because look at what's happening here. This shows us that you are more ready than you think. This is a longing. This is a let me go. Let me go. So the fact that you would pull three of the same suit, pile three, you must take this to heart. All right? There is something in you that wants to live more fully. When you get resistance, when you get invited to a wedding or a party and everything in you wants to say no, you have to deal with that because you're missing out. There's some yeses you need to say. I'm going to finish this reading with a little story because I recently, in the last 3 days, had a rather miraculous reconnection happen where somebody from my past who is in my family, we've not really shared common beliefs or common ideas for decades. And this is a person who was pretty sure of themselves in what they believed in and did not accept what I do here with the cards or being interested in manifesting, deliberate creation, the idea that we can choose our reactions, the idea that we don't have to be like puppets and respond to other people's ugly behavior all the time, that we can choose to be at peace. At any rate, this person contacted me. And when I heard they wanted to talk to me, I want to tell you, I did not want to say yes. I cringed in my being to the core. And I thought, no, because even the sound of their voice makes me uncomfortable, right? You are uncomfortable to get out and be joyful, same kind of idea. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity. So I did pray. I presented my intention, which was simply to find out about their kids and their family. I'm curious about where their life is. I don't really want to discuss anything argumentative, but I have genuine curiosity for them as a human. Well, guess what? We hopped on the phone and we had a wonderful conversation. He's changed. And when you say people don't change, I appreciate that. But if people have like an aha or a revelation or an awakening, and all of a sudden they think, hang on a second, what's going on here? Maybe I'm missing out. So I am so grateful that I had the courage and I coached myself. I talked myself into what was okay for me. All right. And then it turned out to be way better than I thought. So let's give you a practical plan here. You've been invited to somebody's wedding. You have a summer party to go to. There's a family reunion. Something's planned and it makes you cringe. You feel like fingernails down the chalkboard. Ah! Okay. Now, if you make a plan and you say, okay, this is the deal, I'm going to go. I will stay for half hour, 30 minutes. I will find 3 people that I want to talk to. Okay, so you have a specific plan. You go to the wedding or you go to the party, you have a goal, and then praise yourself. When you park your car, you're there, or when you get there. And then pick your 3 people, come into the room, look around, scan the room, pick 3 people that you genuinely want to say hello to, and then trust the unfolding. Accomplish what you set out, and then pat yourself on the back and say you did it. Now, leave 30 minutes later if that's what you want to do. But you may find, like I did with my brother, that when we started to talk, there was no energy. Excuse me a moment. Murphy, I feel like he's half Siamese cat because he talks all the time. But anyway, you may find after your 30 minutes at the event that you're having fun and then stay. But what we want to do is remove the ugly, icky cringing that you're feeling right now when you think about being social. So there is the worry cure. in the discussion box. I mean, in the description box. That just tap that worry cure and follow the directions. It's something called the divine dumpster, and that way you can dump your feelings of fear. You can write a letter to your loved one, and you can say, "How dare you leave me like this?" And because it's all energy work, so you're not actually sending letters to people. And it's very easy to write to someone who's passed to the other side. So please do take advantage of that. So, Murphy. Now, believe it or not, he's barking at my other dog, Bella. But what I discovered, you guys, is that Bella lifts up her lip. Do you know how dogs lift up their lip and kind of snarl? Well, she does that to him. And then he barks, and I yell at Murphy. So it's like children. No kidding. I have to just laugh. It's hilarious. Except when it happens during a reading and y'all can't hear me. So let me grab your oracle card. Thank you guys for being here this morning with this special reading for people that have passed to the other side. And this card just flipped itself over right in my hands. And this is, I love how the cards flip when they're needed. Pile 3, this is your person. They have never stopped loving you. It may stretch your belief system so much. It might stretch your belief system because you can't hear their voice and you can't feel them hug you anymore. But the reality is they have never stopped loving you. The person is still looking towards the light, and that's what they're wanting for you. Humans can bring comfort. They can bring pain, and they're as annoying as heck sometimes, but being isolated is not the best way to heal. All right? So please, pile 3, be gentle with yourself. Look for a grief group. If you're really struggling, find a grief counselor. When you're working with grief, you don't need to work like 8 years talking about every bad thing that happened to you. No, no, no. You just need something to enlighten, to, what's the word? Hit the ignition, light the flame. Your higher self and your past loved one sees so much life in you. And they remember, like your person remembers feeling sad. They're not sad now because they know that even though you're stuck now, your future is bright as the sun. Okay, so thank you. Thank you guys for being with me today with these readings. Go forth and prosper. I will be adding the timestamps here in a little bit. And I hope you tell your friends, inform people of these live readings that I do every day, Monday through Friday. And you can just try out tarot and see how it feels for you. Okay, so go forth and prosper. Have an absolutely beautiful day, my dear friends. And I will be on live again later on this afternoon. And I hope I see you there. Bye.